In this video, I'm looking at solving this problem where Sarah wants to know how tall the tree in her backyard is. She takes a clinometer and a tape measure. She finds a point 10 meters from the base of the tree and measures the angle to the top of the tree to be 80 degrees. If Sarah's eye level is 175 centimeters above the ground, how high is the tree? The best strategy for working out how to solve these problems is to start with a diagram. So let's see if we can draw what's going on. So first thing I'm going to draw is the ground, and I'm going to draw a tree. In this case, I'm just going to draw a vertical line to represent my tree. Okay? Make it more obvious, that's a tree. Then 10 meters away, horizontally on the ground, 10 meters, we have Sarah standing here. So we're going to have Sarah standing here, and she's got herself a clinometer, is going to be looking up at the top of the tree. So Sarah is looking towards the top of the tree, so I'm going to draw a line up to the top of the tree, and the angle at that point at her eye level, so is from the horizontal plane, because our angles with a clinometer are measured from a horizontal plane, will be 80 degrees. Now Sarah's eye height is 175 centimeters, so we'll mark that in. This distance here is her 175 centimeters. Now what we want to know is the height of the tree, so we're wanting to know this distance here, which is the height of the tree. Now what we need to do to solve these is, when we have an angle, our best solution is to try and look for triangles. Now I've drawn a triangle right here when I put in the horizontal line when I was marking my angle. So that's a good one to start with. So I'm going to mark that, make sure I mark that so I know it's a right angle triangle. I'm going to use this triangle to help me find the height. How that triangle is going to help is, I have this much of the height. I have Sarah's height of 175 centimeters, but I still need this height, the rest of the height of the tree. Why that's going to help me is I can use this triangle to find this side of the triangle that I'm going to label X. And that side will give me the height of the tree above Sarah's eye level. So now I have to think about how I'm going to calculate this length. If we look at this, we have an angle, 80 degrees. We have this side here, which we know is 10 meters, because that's the distance from Sarah to the tree. And we're trying to find this length here. So we really have two sides involved in an angle, which says to me we need to use trigonometry. And we can even go a little further and start labeling our sides based on this angle, where this side is our opposite side. So I'm going to label it opposite. And this side, because it's touching it, is called our adjacent side, because adjacent means touching. So we now have our two sides. We're involving adjacent and opposite, which means that our rule is going to be our tan rule. So we're going to have tan theta, which is opposite over adjacent. So the tan of our angle of 80 degrees is going to be the opposite side, which is our side that I labeled X, divided by our adjacent side, which is the 10 meters that we have labeled down the bottom here. It's 10 meters long. So now we know everything in our rule but X. Now X is being divided by 10, we need X on its own, so we're going to bring this 10 over to here, and to do that, because it's a divide, we're going to multiply. So we're going to have 10 tan 80 degrees, which is going to give us our side X. Putting that into our calculator, our side X comes out to be 56.7 meters tall. So it's a very tall tree. But that's actually not the height of the tree, that's just X. We've only counted for this part of it. X is just this bit. So what we also need to take into account is Sarah's height. So we also need to add that bit, X, onto Sarah's height. So our actual height of our tree, H, is going to be the x that we just calculated and adding on Sarah's height, which is 175 centimeters, which I'm just going to put 1.75 meters. So we're going to have that the height of our tree is going to be 56.7 plus 1.75. Putting that into our calculator, and we find that our height of our tree is a total of 58.5 meters with round. So if we think back to our problem, I would have had trouble trying to work out how to solve this problem if I hadn't have drawn a diagram and seen where everything sat on it. Once I'd drawn the diagram, worked out a rule and a tool that can help me use it, solve it, then the solution was actually relatively simple. Diagrams are a help when we have worded problems.